It's Doom here for Dungeon and Doom Biscuit. Excuse me. And I have one of the Zombicide Undead or Alive minis that I haven't painted yet, and I wanted to check it out. And so I sprayed him black and then dry brushed him in white so I could see all his detail. And these cool mini are not minis. For how cheap it is to buy them in bulk in these board games, are really decent for the price. And, they're always under $1 a piece because I wait till the games go on sale. Or they're close to $1 a piece, if not under. But almost always they're under. So what I have here is a little bit of barbarian flesh from Army Painter. And I'm going to thin this out a little bit with some paint or some water. And I'm going to do a really thin broken crust of that. Like not thick crust, but a thin translucent coat of that kind of over all the flesh. And I'm not going to worry about getting into every little spot or anything, because I don't want him to look perfect and good. Now, he's supposed to be a zombie, but in my game, I have mutants, not zombies. And even though they can be technically considered undead, they are not necessarily, because if you've been afflicted with element X, you could be dead and alive, undead. There's a lot of things that it can do. I try to have it kind of open and unexplained, so that people don't understand exactly what's going on, and try to use out-of-game knowledge. I use the flow of information to control them metagaming, basically, is what I'm saying. So, just my method. So as I'm going around here doing this, you'll see that this guy has a Gatling gun or something on his back there. I think it's supposed to be a Gatling gun. I'm not sure. We'll paint it like assuming it's a gun. It's a metal gun. I don't know. I just work here. Last day in the shop before my surgery. So I'm going to try to get a few videos in. I have some dungeon tiles I want to make as well. I say dungeon tiles. I just want some hardwood floor tiles to use for to represent some different stuff in the game. And I think I pretty much have like one of the easiest ways to do it. Kind of set up for myself to get through it quickly, so I can make several at a time. Remember what I said, I'm not worried about the perfection of my coat here. I wanted to not get it on the clothes if I could help it, but it'll be all right. I can come back and hit those again, no problem. All right, I think that's most of the exposed flesh, if I'm not mistaken. And again, it's irregular in different tones and colors and patches because I'm not trying to make it perfect. Then I want to come up here onto this part here, and I want to do this a little... Oh, there's some back here I missed. Look at that. See? Okay. Let's get up here. I think what's going on with this fella is that they've taken like the bottom of a boar jaw and mounted it to him. in some form. I'm not sure though. Now I'm going to wipe my brush off and get a little piece of rag here to use. And I'm going to put that away. I'm going to get some red. And I'm going to do some work in his mouth because I want this to be kind of gross and red. This color is called Dragon Red. It doesn't matter what red you use. I'm using speed paints right now. Not speed paints, I'm sorry. Army Painter paints right now, but you don't have to have that to make this, to do a good job with this. You could have any color paint. Sometimes I just get where I want to paint without using, craft paint. Sometimes I just want to take a day where I enjoy painting with a product that coats a little better, and it's just a personal thing. But you don't need it. You can use any craft paint like I normally use. If you watch the channel, you know I use just whatever paint, usually. So you can do the same. All right, so I have that coated kind of red. I'm going to come back and touch those teeth up, so if you get a little bit of red on the teeth, it'll be okay. Just want to make sure you get down in those gaps, though. That's what's mattering. And the top of his skull looks like it's flesh toned. Or top of his head, so I'm going to come back and touch that up. Again, not worrying about the beauty of coverage. Okay. Looking for a pink? Give me a second. There it is. So I have this Warlock purple, which looks pink to me. I could be mistaken. Boop. I'm going to get a little dab of that on here. A little bit of water. I'm going to drag that into the water and kind of moisten that up. I'm going to take it and mix it with a little bit of that flesh color to get like a darker tone. And then some of the areas where my coverage isn't great, or if I just don't feel like I like it, I'm just going to come in there and do that in that pink. Any spots that I think I missed. There's a skin condition, I think it's called vitiligo or something like that. I'm not sure what it is. I don't really know what I'm talking about, but I'm trying to kind of make that a little bit, I guess. I don't know what I'm doing. Again, I'm just painting minis here. I'm not a scientist or doctor. Well, I guess I am a scientist, but I'm not a doctor. I'm not even a master's degree holder. I'm just a lowly, low merson guy. I'm not, nothing cool. All right, I'm pretty happy with that change there. And I'd like to get an orange as well. I'm going to get this lava orange and see. I don't think I use this very much. Remember, my paint shaker, the camera doesn't capture how fast it's actually vibrating very much. So when it looks like it's not really vibrating, it is. I'm just getting these like pustules here. There's a whole part of leg I missed right there. So I'm just going to grab my yellow, or my last closest peach color, and come and get that. I don't know how I didn't catch this as part of it, but I didn't. So that's all flesh there. Okay. Okay. Now we're going to dry this off. Little bag of bones being out all night. We're going to mix a little bit of barbarian flesh with a little bit of this mummy robes. This is just an off-white that has like a cool instead of a warm kind of tone. And I'm going to get a soft synthetic bristle brush. You know what? I'm not going to use that. Change the plan. I'm going to get this makeup brush. Create a slightly lighter skin tone. I'm just going to brush over all that flesh. Give them a kind of a gross look. And my hope is that those pustules will look like they're ready to pop. I might come back and hit those with something a little bit lighter real quick. We'll see in a minute. Yeah, I need those. This is going to be washed when it's done, by the way, if you're wondering why I'm like... So now I'm going to get that little bit of that pink and that white. I'm going to lighten that up pretty heavily, just like that. And I'm going to wipe a lot of that off. Just kind of dab those pustules a little bit. I think that's supposed to be his nipple. Oh well. Right. We can just use this off-white on the teeth. I think that actually kind of captured what we needed to on the teeth. They look like they're going to do what we want. Okay, let's do his clothes. We have a lot of color choices with the clothes. We can play around with that quite a bit. I think I'm going to do some of it, since he is getting a wash, some of his clothes I think I'm going to do in a lighter color, so I'm going to use this, what is this here? Skeleton bone. For his straps and stuff, just to make the paint job a little easier. I'm just going to kind of paint over those some and then come back and hit those again. Again, not going for perfection here. Just trying to generally cover the area. Once I have it pretty good, I'm going to call it a win. For his shirt, now mind you, we are using a wash over this. I'm going to be using this Void Shield Blue. Instead of actually trying to like genuinely paint, what I'm just kind of doing is grabbing the edges and then smearing paint around onto the spots that I need the blue to be. I'm just making it very finely light blue. And I'm not doing anything perfect. I'm probably missing tons of spots, and that's okay. If you want something kind of pastel, you could kind of stop right there if you wanted. Leave it like that. If you were okay with that kind of tone, you could just kind of finish up and be done, honestly. But I just want some more to mine. I definitely want to darken them up and grimy them up with a wash. That's a big part of what I want to get accomplished. So that looks like a safe or something on his side there. I'm not sure. So let's get... let's get a little bit of black. Oh, that's way more black than I wanted. Oh, well, we'll use it. And let's get a metallic, a darker metallic. There we go, something like that. And a little bit of water. We're going to do that same thing. Get a little bit more water on the gun. We're not trying to kill ourselves here. Now I will tell you, with the gun, we are going to have to lighten that up pretty significantly again after this. But this will get us started to make sure there's no blue or anything on it at least, right? Okay. He's got some kind of bookcase or something over here on his arm. I'm going to get this monster brown. It's kind of a light medium brown. I'm going to get a little bit of water. Not much, just a little bit. And really, at this point, the only thing you have to do is the straps. And the rest of this paint job can be predominantly wash-based. So all I did there was mix some skeleton bone and some black and some monster brown and make a new color to be straps. All right, pretty happy with him. He's got a part of boot there. I'm just going to get that brown mixed with whatever other crap I had. And do that boot port part. I'm going to mix that. I have a little problem over here I just found. So I'm going to mix some of this stuff up. And I'm just going to make a gross kind of speckle to cover up that mistake I made there. Now, with that crappy brush that I had earlier that I was talking about using this synthetic brush here, I'm going to get that, get a lot of metal on there, and then I'm going to come back and hit some spots on the safe, which is a little darker, and on the Gatling gun. And I'm going to grab my, I don't know what color's here. I'm going to grab my tan, my skeleton bone. I'm going to do these little straps on his little book satchel here, or whatever this is. This little satchel. I'm going to do a little detail there. Real quick. Nothing too drastic. Get a little dab of that metallic. I'm going to do a little like clipboard thing right there. A little metallic thing right there. And just kind of look. Oh, we lost power, I think. Oh, power's back. Good news. Bit of a storm going on, but we're still recording, I hope. Let's see. What was I doing? I don't even know what color I have. Oh, I have metallic. So I'm just going to get these little buckles here and these little metal rivets. Okay. Now, for the outside of his base, or the top surface of his base, I'm going to get my Dollar Tree deep brown. Just like that. I'm just going to carefully with that synthetic brush get around, not touching the feet if I can help it. Just like that. Okay. I'm going to grab some of that skeleton bone I had. Mix that in. Dab it around on there a little bit. And create that fake kind of painted desert look I go for. And we'll air dry them. We'll get some of this black. We'll go around the outside. It's a little bit chunky, so I'm just going to get a little bit of water. And thin that out some. There we go. So it spreads nice and beautiful and thin. It doesn't make any weird textures that I don't want. I'm just going to drag that around the outside the best I can to make that imaginary border where fantasy stops and the real world starts. Well, got a little bit up on the base. I'm not overly concerned about it. I'm going to get that small brush again. I'm going to grab some of this skeleton bone that's left. It's fairly wet. My brush is fairly wet, I should say, and a little bit of this brown. I'm just going to get in here these spots where the base is a little bit too much black showing through or dark showing through that I didn't want. I'm just going to touch around on those spots and kind of shore that up and make it look complete. Just real simple, nothing fancy. Now I think after we give this guy a wash, he's going to need a little bit of love still on those pustules. Because right now the pustules I like, but I don't know how I'm going to feel about them after the fact. But a nice, easy paint job. You know, about 30-ish minutes usually. It's kind of cathartic for me. Now it starts getting too long and drawn out, and you start getting into hour-long paint jobs. Unless I'm doing it for a specific reason or a gift for somebody or something. It's not my bag, dudes. So for my wash, I'm going to use soft tone. I'm going to make sure that I've got most of the moisture out of my synthetic brush I was using. Just like that. Then I'm going to saturate my brush. Get in here. If you feel like you're already smearing paint around, either you didn't dry the mini enough or you had too much water in your brush. If it's just a little damp, it's okay. If you got a good bit of water in there, you're going to start smearing paint when you use this stuff. We need a little bit more. I feel like I'm using it an awful lot, but maybe not. Maybe I didn't just haven't squirted out an abundant amount of it to begin with is my problem, you know. I can't tell. Soft tone is not as noticeable or prevalent as some of the other ones. Unless you have real like black crevices underneath, it's super noticeable, but I don't. Okay. Pretty decent coverage. Now, there's some spots where I have some serious overpaint issues. So all I'm going to do is get my little rag here and just get a corner of it. Just kind of soak it in there and get some of that excess I don't want out. Some of those spots where I don't want to lose color or anything like that. Just a little bit of effort, nothing too serious. Okay, I think he looks pretty good. He looks like I wanted him to. I do want to come back and hit those pustules when he's dry, but I can't really do that on film. I'm going to get a little corner here. I'm just going to get in there. There's a little bit too much wash in some of those spots back there too. Get that safe little grody. Alright, so anyways, if you like what I'm doing here on the channel, please like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell icon, and leave a comment. Those are the things that'll please the algorithm spirits. I won't be around for a couple of days. I do plan on doing another video after a while. I just want to spend some time with my boys, my little boys. Well, hell, I'd like to spend time with the big boys, but they're both working. And Mrs. Doom. Then I'll come back and try to get those floor tiles going. But in the meantime, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.